Laux and Nate Oates are telling their team. Bol Bowen going against his former team on the tip, and Alabama controls possession to start the game. Here is Aiden Holloway, one of the best three-point shooters in the nation last year, but he loses that one out of bounds, and it's a turnover.
You know, Holloway, one of these guys, second year in the system, off ball, he's elite, and obviously a guy that can light it up, and you saw it off the bench last year for Nate Oates and the Crimson Tide.
First time we've seen Alabama in a long time without Mark Sears in the mix. It'll be interesting to see how the ball is distributed throughout the evening.
Back-to-back turnovers to start things. Lance mentioned it with Holloway, Jim. As you look at Nate Oates, the Alabama head coach in his 7th season, 145 at 63, a couple of Elite Eights, a Final Four. His 11th year as a college coach, 245 and 106 going back to his days at Buffalo. Holloway did not start last year, so Alabama will look to him as a starter this season with Sears gone. As Feiline heads to the basket, hits the deck, and can't get it to go, but he'll shoot free throws.
That's what he's so good at. That's why he flirted with the NBA and is getting a lot of NBA looks. He can create his shot, quick step, and gets to the hole.
Yeah, absolutely. Physical guard, too, as you said, drawing the contact, a guy that gets to the stripe, and really not a weakness in Feilin's game as he starts his second year with the Crimson Tide.
LeBaron Feiline, a 76% free throw shooter last season for the Crimson Tide. He stayed in the draft a very, very long time. Took it to the basically 11th hour before letting Nate Oates know he would return to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, the only returning starter, official starter for the Alabama Crimson Tide from last year, and a guy that was named this week in Birmingham, first team preseason All-SEC.
Look how good these Alabama fans are, trained in basketball now, getting so quiet when their guys are shooting.
I felt like I might be disrupting things, to be honest with you. Feiline's second free throw will not go, but Alabama has the 1-0 lead. Fight for the ball on the floor. No jump ball called. The Tide comes away with it. It was Holloway in the scrum kicking it out, but Florida State comes away with the basketball. Here is Robert McRae, the fifth. Interesting story about his name. Great defense by Feiline as the Tide plays man-to-man.
Both teams long and athletic, and it looks like the officials, at least early on, are going to let them play.
McGee, a quick trigger on the three off the back of the rim, no good, and Bol Bowen pulls down his first board, and Alabama will look to him for a lot of that this year.
Yeah, Bol Bowen's one of these guys you mentioned, former Florida State Seminole from last year, and talking to people inside the program, super excited about this guy.
Millett turns down the shot, and Holloway was going to drive, and he loses it. Another Crimson Tide turnover, and the drive from McRae. Robert McRae, the fifth, gets his first bucket of the game, and it's 2-1 Florida State.
Yeah, so many unknowns for the Seminoles with a completely new roster, only 3 guys behind. You mentioned Robert McRae, the fifth, guy that followed his assistant coach from Jacksonville University over here, and a guy that can light it up.
So take a look at the free throw stripe, or the last basket, as Florida State. I thought it was going to be a shooting foul perhaps for the Crimson Tide, but he just had it knocked away from behind, so an inbound along the sideline. So Feiline has it for the Tide. There is Sherrill. Back to Feiline, now Holloway. And now a three on the way, and that is something you will see from Taylor Bol Bowen. He may be 6'10", but that guy can fill it up from outside.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a space 4, is what Nate loves to call him. And if you're going to play in this lineup, you're going to have to shoot the perimeter shot.
But you got to play defense at the other end. Back
right.
down there by Wiggins. Big bucket for Chauncey there.
Yeah, Wiggins is a big body guy down away, 6'10", 225.
Chauncey Wiggins knows this Alabama roster because he's at Clemson, and it seems like Clemson and Alabama have been rivals in basketball the last couple of years.
That's a yearly battle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another turnover for the Tide as Feiline was trying to feed it inside, and on the run out, there is a lay-in by Kobe McGee.
Veteran backcourt. A lot of minutes in this backcourt for Alabama. They should be one of the better backcourts in college basketball, but off to a shaky start in this exhibition game.
Quick catch and release by Holloway will not go. And here comes Florida State, and again, that's McGee. McGee can't get it to go, but he hits the ground and will shoot free throws.
And McGee, a guy that they call an elite shooter, shot 44% behind the arc last year at Drexel for the Dragons. And they say this guy can really get after it at 6'5" on the wing.
Wiggins, the 6'10" guy, played at Clemson, and they've got a kid from Drexel, a kid from St. Bonaventure and Jacksonville. So you've got some transfer portal and a rebuild there for Coach Laux as he tries to take where Leonard Hamilton had the program and get Florida State back to greatness. Lance had a great interaction with Coach Laux in pregame when we were talking to him. You'd seen this coach's success, but when they look at each other on tape, they're going to look a lot alike.
Yeah, he said before the game, Kevin Young, BYU, Nate Oates at Alabama, these are the styles the NBA guys are looking down to. And everybody respects those styles, and obviously it's easier to get recruits, right? I think you asked him in the pregame how much easier it is to recruit, or maybe Scooter down there did.
He's got 3 top 100 guys committed. He told us they all committed the night they were in Tallahassee after Florida State beat Alabama.
I didn't know if you're going to bring this up, but yeah, he said that was a seminal moment for Seminole recruiting in basketball.
Was that off the record? I didn't hear it.
No. Okay. After the steal, Cam Miles slams it in. I'd say it was off the record. I just didn't know if the Alabama fans watching us tonight wanted to relive that moment, but it certainly was big for Luke Laux. Now a tie-up, and Hannah did not like the fact that one of the Florida State Seminoles came in there to try to break up the jump ball, and the officials quickly in the middle of this to make peace.
I don't know how many fouls we had called last night, but the officials are letting them play here, which is good. We like, but at the same time, you can get a little chippy when it goes over the top like that.
Another turnover there that leads to the Miles dunk. He's a third-generation college basketball player, by the way. And the coaching staff loves what he brings to the team there. So he gets a big steal and another dunk, and turnover's a problem early on in the game. That's 6 for Alabama in 6 minutes of play.
Hey, back to your point, the atmosphere at these college football games less than a week ago. So tomorrow, a week from tomorrow, we had Stephen Pearl. We were doing a live show from Auburn, and we asked him, what an atmosphere is like Georgia and Auburn and Jordan Hare do for recruiting, and he's like, it's the best tool we've got. So obviously, Laux, Nate Oates, all these coaches are taking advantage of these atmospheres. And as you said, Jim, they locked in 3 guys week 1 of the college football season.
Yeah, if you go to the Alabama-Tennessee game on Saturday, very high likelihood you'll see Nate Oates walking around with recruits. It is a great way to lock guys down because it is such a good window into your university. That's about as bizarre a made basket as you'll see. Maluk was fouled on his way to the dunk. The ball popped up in the air off the glass and in.
Look at Maluk get the ball, get the lucky bounce as he challenges at the rim there, and it rolls in there. Maluk has an interesting story, LT. We were talking and reading before the game, a refugee from the South Sudan, born actually in a refugee camp, and now he's here playing basketball, one of the big contributors now for Florida State, and he completes the 3-point play.
Yeah, Maluk, they say, he's got the potential to be an NBA center one day. Just really, really raw. You see the size, 6'11", 220. Got to stay out of foul trouble, though.
LeBaron Filine going to be whistled for the travel. There was a little half-court pressure there that Luke Laux sprung on the Crimson Tide.
Oni Jaka is going to be good for Alabama. He's getting playing time, 34 there. Had the ball, was about to go up and make a move at the rim before the traveling call.
Yeah, he is a big kid, 6'11", 270. You see him right there in the paint for the Crimson Tide, number 34, Collins Owinjaka. He is a freshman from Boston, and he eats up a lot of space for the Crimson Tide. They're very high on him.
Big.
Massive.
Yes, he is massive.
You just don't see kids that age that are filled out like that. I mean, he's got a grown man's body.
Yeah, if you look at, some big men, 7-footers in the game, they don't have those shoulders, those muscles. And he's going to eat up some space in SEC play when they need those minutes, when Sherrill is on the bench.
Blast from the past. First time I ever saw Marvin Stone play basketball was here in Birmingham.
Yeah, Grissom High School from up in Huntsville. The 3 goes down from 5.
I'll get back to that in a second. But watching Tubby Smith recruit him, he's got the same kind of build.
Yeah, I can see some Marvin Stone in him. It's interesting, he and Bol Bowen are just about the same height. He's 65 pounds heavier than Taylor Bol Bowen.
Yeah, Bol Bowen can hide behind him.
And there he is with a rebound on the miss.
Worked hard to get the right position there. Now Alabama in transition.
Here comes Amari Allen. He'll kick it out to Bol Bowen. Fouled on the 3-point attempt, so he'll shoot 3 free throws.
Boy, and you see Bol Bowen fitting into the style of play very quickly, right? Big guy, but he's not afraid to get out there and get some shots off.
No doubt. So take a look at Phylon draining that three on Alabama's previous trip, and look at the foul on Bol Bowen, and he'll shoot 3 free throws as the Crimson Tide is down 7 now, looking to cut into that lead a little bit.
Pride of Jericho, Vermont. 5,100 strong in Jericho. I wonder if anybody back home was watching the broadcast tonight.
5,100 in Jericho, Vermont.
I hope John Rothstein's watching tonight. I'll follow him he was watching last night. He believes every preseason basketball game, exhibition game, should be streamed or televised. He was bragging the fact that last night he could watch Oklahoma State and Auburn battle here at the Ballin and Boutwell event.
He just would like better announcers, I'm sure, but welcome in, John.
Well, I agree with John. Did he not send out, hey, the Big 12 needs to watch out for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
You can say what you want coming into the season, and we talked to somebody upstairs tonight, and they were like, I didn't expect much. That backcourt is legitimate.
Rothstein agreed with you, man.
Here is Florida State. Back on the attack, 21-15. The Noles lead it. Approaching the midway mark of the first half. The Crimson Tide stepping up the defensive intensity. Holloway got screened off. Shot won't go, and Bol Bowen skies for the board. Here comes Phylon. He's going to pull it up and shoot the three, and drains it. And that cuts it to 3. Alabama on a 7-0 run until that made basket goes down from Maluk. And Phylon fouled at the midcourt stripe.
You know, we saw it last night, and this is kind of that frenetic pace, and it does look like the coaches are substituting a little bit more than last night. But with this pace, this early in the season with conditioning, that'll be something to watch.
Phylon feeling it early on, 2 of 2 from 3, and that's his transition to pull up and hit the shot. That's what makes him so elite and so smooth early on here.
And another foul all the way back at the midcourt stripe as Basong and Maluk were defending Phylon, and Holloway, and Maluk is going to pick up the personal foul. So it is 23-18. Alabama and Florida State doing battle. The Noles with a 5-point lead here at Ballin and Boutwell. Some preseason basketball. And at times got a little regular season feel to it. Holloway will shoot free throws.
Alabama in the bonus, 17 fouls, 5 for Florida State. 5 Alabama fouls, 7 for Florida State, correction.
We're on quite the pace again.
Yeah.
And they've really swallowed the whistle.
They have let these teams play more than the officials did last night. Good group of officials, Terry Oglesby, Byron Jarrett, and Courtney Green on the call in tonight's game.
14 paint points for Florida State already, 14 points in the paint. And that's going to be a concern going into the season for Alabama with the loss of the guys underneath.
No more Cliff Amore in there, but they've got some length on this team, there's no doubt, including Sherrell, who tips that one back to Millette. Bol Bowen makes the pass, pulls the rope on the 3, cannot get it to go. Phylon with a rebound in the corner there. Phylon, pump fake in the paint. He can't get it to go, and is down to the ground after the miss. Here comes McGee. Now McGee going to back it out. That one will not go. Rebound in the follow by Muhammad. It will not go. Another follow by Leger. It will not go.
Just some easy chippy baskets missed there. You mentioned Amore, and such a rim protector for Alabama last year.
Well, back from injury, and it is good to see him back on the court.
That's the guy everyone's talking about his shot, Lance.
Well, you know, California kid from Pepperdine, wanted to see him last year, gets hurt early, only plays in 6 games, and there's big expectation for his ability to light it up.
Yeah, Miles on the drive. Millette has just, it was a tough year last year. Started the season, chose to redshirt, and now back on the court for the Crimson Tide, and everyone in crimson and white is thrilled to see that.
Gets a foul here, but Millette told us at SEC Media Days he wants to be the Swiss Army knife. He wants to be able to do whatever the coaching staff needs him to do. If he wants to be a defensive specialist, if he needs to be a shooter, needs to be a point guard, he can do it all, and he can really be a contributor on this team. Big-time potential.
I'll tell you, first glance, Scooter, 10 minutes into this game,
defensive coach, right? Now you're going to play this NBA speed.
Well, look, it's going to take a while. As you said, 22 years under Hamilton. They were 17 and 15, 8 and 12 in the conference. I think Florida State fans just want to see some progress, and they want to see this style of basketball where you're seeing improvement game over game.
The Holloway free throws give the Crimson Tide a 6-point lead, and now another Florida State turnover. Hannah lost a handle on it for just a moment, and Bol Bowen comes away, and he'll be fouled. And we'll head to the free throw strike.
I'll tell you, one guy that I've loved in this first half of basketball is Taylor Bol Bowen. The way he's got after loose balls, as you see here. He's got a great shot from the outside, and he's willing to fight there in traffic. So first observation of Bol Bowen, and I'm giving him a 2 thumbs up so far, right?
This guy, again, inside the program, they are so excited about the Florida State transfer. His ability to push it, space, and shoot it inside or outside, and you just look at the length. I'm guessing at 6'10", would you guys say a 7'1", 7'2" wingspan?
Good shot of Aiden Holloway there with Nate Oates, and Nate trying to calm down Holloway, who's now a junior, 3rd year of college basketball, and trying to get him to play within himself. Slow it down a little bit.
I thought you were going to ask us to guess his BMI. Bol Bowen drives again and gets it to go, and we'll have an and one opportunity.
I tell you, this is the new 6'10" player that Nate Oates loves. The ability to put it on the deck, body control, getting the contact, kissing it off the glass. Now we'll see if he can finish the traditional 3. Or is it a non-traditional 3
yeah,
now?
maybe non-traditional 3 now. Alabama has got some interesting lineups if they really want to go big. Amari Allen out there as a guard at 6'8". Bol Bowen can play on the perimeter at 6'10". Millette is 6'5". He's a big body guy.
Well, that is one thing we noticed in pregame. You know, from last night to this night when we were calling Oklahoma State and Auburn to Florida State, Alabama, is just the length of players on both these rosters.
Yeah, this is a big Alabama team. Again, some of that size is inexperience, but they've got the size. Somerville tried to lose Bol Bowen. He kicks it out in the corner to Wiggins, and Wiggins gets the 3 to go, and that ends Alabama's scoring run there. A much-needed basket for the Seminoles. Phylon was trying to work it into Bol Bowen. Another Crimson Tide turnover. That is double digits now for Bama. They've got 10 turnovers here in the first half.
Yeah, and Wiggins, a guy that only hit 36% of his threes last year at Clemson, has been working hard in the offseason, trying to get that number up around 40%.
A rush for the loose ball, and Allen is fouled. They will call a foul on Florida State. Allen went to the floor for the loose ball, slid for a little bit, or excuse me, it is Jemison slid for a little bit, and then Florida State's Chauncey Wiggins came in and committed the foul. I could see that call on contact once Jemison was down on the floor.
Yeah, the first swipe of the ball, the elbow catches him in the face, and that's what he calls there. I don't think you really had to go for that ball, right? It was going to be over and back there because it did go off the Florida State player.
A double dribble missed on this side of action just a second ago.
Jemison can't get the first free throw to fall. Bloomfield, Connecticut is where he played his high school ball. 14 points, 4 boards there in Bloomfield for the 6'8", 200-pound freshman.
As you watch all the talent on this Alabama team and think about what they've had in recent years and what they're getting in the recruiting circles right now, you can't say enough about Preston Murphy, who you see standing by Nate Oates over there. Such an elite recruiter. Literally Nate Oates' right-hand man. He was standing right on his right side there near midcourt. Great X's and O coach too, but a relentless recruiter. And there's a good look at Preston Murphy. Yeah. That guy can do it all in a program.
And got to have that, Dunaway. You know, there was a time where you would recruit these guys in. You hoped you had them 3 years onto the NBA. But now it's not only retaining the roster, it's recruiting high school, and it's recruiting the portal. So 4 new faces out of the portal for Alabama, 4 freshmen coming into this program. And as you said, a big part of that.
I'd love to see his cell phone minutes, I'll tell you that. Anytime I'm with that team on the road, he's in hotel lobbies, walking between restaurants and back to the hotel, and always has a phone to his ear talking to somebody on the recruiting trail. And that's just That's just what you do now, but he is one of the best, if not the best, in the SEC at doing it.
Well, you think an actual game is the only time his cell phone goes without being used for an hour at a time, maybe?
Probably, but you look at the Northeast influence, and you guys remember back in the days of the roaming charges on the cell phone?
Yeah,
you get back from a trip and you're like, oh my God, what happened? I just spent $600 this weekend on a phone bill.
That would be a hefty bill for sure. Here is Phylon to Bol Bowen. Bol Bowen cut off on the baseline. And now a drive. Oh my goodness, that would have been a massive dunk by Hannah. He couldn't get it to go, and now here come the Seminoles. 3 on the way from Miles, a little strong, and now a whistle on the rebound, and that's going to go against Florida State.
Hey, if you're tuning in, you're saying, hey, where's Latrell Wrightsell? I thought he was going to be back. He is back, not 100%. So this being exhibition plays, you see the replay here. Coming up just a little short on the attempted dunk there. Maybe got away with a little foul or good defense by Florida State. But Wrightsell not playing tonight, was dressed, went through warm-ups, not going to risk it for an exhibition game. Probably if this was a game that count, Wrightsell would be out there playing, but he is fully on the road to recovery. He'll be a big part of what Alabama does this year.
And more of an opportunity to see some of these new guys like Davion Hannon from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Well, that was an aggressive look there.
To say the very least. Would have brought the roof down of this venerable old building had that one gone. But he couldn't quite get that dunk down.
101 years of this building. LT, do you think they ever had a legitimate basketball game with a peach basket in here ever? Or does it go doesn't go back that far?
Erected in 1920. You know, the thing I learned about this, I didn't realize that we had a mayor in our fair city of Birmingham, Albert Boutwell, where the building was named after.
I would have never guessed that.
But I would assume there was a peach basket here once or twice.
I bet Albert could fill it up from the outside.
And then have to literally pull it out.
Yes, 37-30. The Crimson Tide leads. Hannah pulls down that board. Quickly up to Amari Allen. Allen can't get the runner to go. There's Sherrell. We talked about maybe gaining a couple inches of height in the offseason, and he showed it there with a putback. And Aiden Sherrell will have a chance at a three-point play.
The sophomore for Detroit played in 36 games last year, but averaged right at 9 points, 3 boards.
Yeah, and you said a key word there, sophomore.
Yeah.
He played 36 games last year.
He averaged 8 minutes, only 3 points and 3 boards. So very raw, but a guy that, as you said, Jim, probably the minutes go way up this year.
But you go back and look at like the Duke game and the BYU game and some games in the NCAA tournament. When he is playing, he is a one-of-one guy on the court. When he can get going and get into a groove and get some more playing time, they expect him to take a huge step forward this year.
Nice rebound by Hannah. He's showing some hops in this game, and now is fouled on his way to the basket. Was trying to get his first points of tonight's action and his first points in a Bama uniform.
Yeah, Davion Hannah very active early on here.
Yeah, you were seeing we talked recruiting, the fruits of those recruiting labors early on in this preseason game. And you see the foul by Miles there as Hannah will go to the stripe to shoot.
And you know, Alabama without Jalil Bethea, who will be back at some point, no set timetable, but sort of like Chris Youngblood last year, the transfer from USF who didn't play early on, just like Youngblood last year. Bethea here tonight in a boot, looks a lot like Youngblood last year. And just how great is the situation in Alabama roster-wise that you can start a season with so much talent, and then as you get into the season, maybe into conference play, you get a gift. You get oh, here's another addition to your rotation, a guy who can contribute and score and play defense. That's the kind of talent they've had the last few years in Tuscaloosa.
Well, you know, we mentioned Sears, Amore, we mentioned Youngblood, Grant Nelson, another one of those faces gone from last year's roster. Obvious Mark Sears, production-wise, is the guy you'll miss the most. But Amore, what he did protecting the rim, I think that is something that is still an unknown for Nate Oates and this Alabama team.
Yeah, again, the size is there. And they've just got to get that experience. Alabama up 10, their biggest lead of the game, and it's come at a time where Florida State has gone stone cold from the field. They have made 1 of their last 9 shots. And now a whistle on that inbound will go against the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I do think Luke Laux loves this pace, but some of these shots aren't even close for the Seminoles right now.
Yeah, it has been a tough run. They started pretty well offensively in this game, and they have hit a wall in the second part of this first half.
Yeah, 1 of 9, their last 9
Yeah,
shots.
Somerville will head to the stripe and at least try to get some points for Florida State right now to stem this Crimson Tide run.
And Martin Somerville, the American East Rookie of the Year last season at UMass Lowell, over 13 points per game. Shot it behind the arc at 40%. Another one of those lefties we were talking about last night.
Yeah, Oak State had a backcourt full of them.
Good look at Coach Laux there. Speed, pace, three-point shooting. We've talked about his change in the offense. Great guard for Leonard Hamilton's team between 2008 and 2012. A couple of Sweet 16 appearances for the Seminoles with him running the guard.
Coach Laux over there pacing. Most people wearing their Nike Dunks. He's got his Travis Scott's on. That's what that head coach money will get you.
Different set of shoes you get to buy with that, right? Phylon drives and kicks it back out to Bol Bowen. He thought about a three a couple times there. Now Holloway. Bol Bowen, he's going to take the three this time, and he makes it.
He has got a nice stroke. Probably some contact on that wrist that wasn't called.
And that pushes the lead to 11 for the Crimson Tide.
Good defense there by Bristow.
But then you had a mismatch on the inside, and Bristow comes over and helps defense and commits the foul. So Florida State will head to the stripe when you come back, 43-32. The Alabama Crimson Tide leading preseason action here. Ballin' in Boutwell, downtown Birmingham. Alabama and Taylor Bol Bowen making his debut in a Crimson Tide uniform, as is London Jemison fighting for that loose ball. A lot of fresh faces for the Crimson Tide, and they're up 11.
Of course, I've never been to Sacramento.
Yeah, I was about to say, how do you know that? 8 of 10 from the stripe for Holloway as he exits after the free throws. That's where he has done his damage for the Crimson Tide tonight. He puts Bama back up by 2.
Love to say hi to Michael Alford, by the way, the athletic director of Florida State, friend of all three of ours. And I know they're heading out to the West Coast for football this weekend, but what a great dude, and he's doing a great job at Florida State.
Michael spent many years working in the athletics department at the University of Alabama, on the media side, and now the athletic director at Florida State, and his team just took a 1-point lead. Here is Bol Bowen for the Crimson Tide. They will have to shoot here. Shot clock at 20, game clock at 27. Here is Phylon. Phylon loses his dribble. Now it's Allen, and now Allen turns it over again. Number 12 for the Crimson Tide this half. And Florida State will have a chance with the lead and the final shot.
Florida State has turned it up defensively.
2 seconds. 1 second as that one will not that. 12 turnovers, you're down 1. And you've only forced 7 turnovers for Florida State. All right, starting the second half here, the Noles will have Steen out there at the top of the key. Hand off to Jones. Jones, runner won't go. He gets his own follow. Trying to shoot it over Sherrill. That's not going to work. Steen now kicks it out. The reset three by Wiggins and barely moves the net. And immediately Florida State drains the 3.
Yeah, big shot from Wiggins there. But the thing I've noticed is Steen and Jones really involved the last 5 minutes of that first half, and right here to open the second half.
Here is Phylon. Bol Bowen and Phylon playing a little bit of a 2-man game out on the perimeter now from Sherrill. Phylon will try to drive it on Steen. Come back 3 and he drains it.
Just such a smooth stroke.
Just a 31% shooter from beyond the arc last season. Steen gets the rebound on the air ball. And now good movement on the perimeter. That 3 will not fall, and a whistle on the rebound. Looks like it will go against Bol Bowen.
All right, this is the pace of play both coaches want. You get the shots falling there. There's Wiggins. Net doesn't move. And then Alabama hits theirs on the other side with Phylon on a smooth shot as well.
Man, if you knew nothing about these teams, and specifically Alabama, Bol Bowen is just coming into this game. You know that Phylon is going to be your alpha. Bol Bowen, this guy, he's right there with it.
Definitely going to be a welcome addition. Phylon on the drive, and he lays it off the glass. He's got 14 to lead Alabama in scoring. Sherrell moving some bodies on the inside. Doesn't get the rebound, but he tips it over to Bol Bowen. Now this is Houston Millette. Phylon asking for it. And now a jump back three by Phylon. Can't get it to go.
Phylon was trying to take over the first 2 minutes of this half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I was about to say, there were many times that it seemed like the ball had to go through Sears at some point.
Right.
And you're wondering if Phylon gets hot, or does Alabama have to have somebody that the ball goes through at certain times in the game? Is Phylon going to be that guy this year? Probably so, right?
I would imagine so. Millette couldn't get it to go, and Sherrell tips it in. The dunk follow won't fall there.
I guess what I'm saying,
Wiggins tried to dunk it.
when it's a clutch moment in the game, who's going to be your guy? It was always Mark Sears. You were going to look to Mark Sears to
There
take
was
that
no
shot.
doubt, yeah.
Well, coming into this season, I would have said Phylon, but maybe Aiden Holloway. Again, he struggled from the field early in this game, but, a guy in his third year of basketball, and we know when he gets hot, he can shoot the eyes out of it. So I would say right now, Phylon would be your answer. But
And Mark Sears, real quick, I apologize. Martin Somerville, right as play began, I don't know if he cramped up, but he's having to be helped off. That's the delay right now.
Somerville, 11 points before he goes
Yeah.
out. You hope that's nothing serious.
Odd timing on that. Jim was right after the huddle broke.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened, but they are tending to him over there, and right now it doesn't look like a cramp.
Here is the drive by McCray. He dumps it off, and it is blocked from behind by Allen. And now, after the block, a three on the way from LeJay Jones, and he drains it.
Yeah, LeJay, a guy that averaged 11.6 rebounds last year, but you can see he's getting very involved in this Seminoles offense early in the second half.
Allen between the circles as Bristow waits to check in. Nice drive by Allen. He gets bodied at the rim and will shoot free throws.
Alabama opens up at home against North Dakota on November 3rd, so you got some time to work on the issues tonight. But then very quickly, November 8th, St. John's up in the Big Apple.
The number 5 team in the nation.
Yeah.
What Rick Pitino at, 90 years old has done now.
Yeah.
I mean, I take a fun shot at Pitino. I'm just an incredible coach and one of the best to ever do it.
Let's take
here's
a look
the
at
replay.
what happened after the timeout.
It does look like he is starting to cramp up there.
Yeah, that was just weird timing. I think he was actually coming into play as well. He was not just part of the huddle. He was actually in the huddle.
Yeah, and wasn't really favoring anything.
No. Very odd for Somerville, a guy that they very much like on this squad.
Yeah, we talked about the out-of-conference schedule last night for the Auburn Tigers and Alabama. NATO's been doing this every single year, and it's paid off.
Oh, there's no doubt. Alabama has not shied away from scheduling. And here is one of their talented freshmen, Allen, and he gets welcomed to college basketball a little bit by that block by Basong, and now a whistle before that basket.
Somerville is over behind the bench, and now the scorer's table is trying to stretch it out. He is hydrating, but you can see him trying to work over there.
Allen, in high school, that's an easy make right there. In the college game, no thank you. Shah Muhammad swatting it away. Now Cam Miles will go to the free throw stripe. He has not attempted a free throw tonight.
By the way, after that St. John's game, all you do is get Purdue after that. Where are they ranked, Lance?
Purdue right now is
Seminoles. Mo Finley was in their huddle. Mo, what'd you hear from Coach Luke Louts? We'll check in with Mo in a moment. busy in that Florida State huddle for sure. All right, Robert McRae has it coming out of the Florida State timeout. Off the screen, Wiggins takes the three and drains it. Chauncey Wiggins.
My goodness, so impressed with
Yeah.
his 6'10" senior forward, the transfer from Clemson.
He's
Guy
got
that,
16.
coming into this, didn't expect a lot of offense, can guard multiple positions, but he has been very active on the offensive side.
Bol Bowen, pump fake from the perimeter. One dribble, and he drains a three.
I see why he was in the starting lineup now. He's done it at both ends of the floor.
Hey, don't get too used to him, because you ain't going to see him next year.
You think he's got the NBA game, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bol Bowen with 14 tonight.
You guys remember there was a day in basketball when 16 guys couldn't
shoot?
dribble? Well, couldn't shoot, couldn't
Yeah.
dribble.
Yeah, they were locked down on the baseline. Not anymore.
These guys could run point back in the 60s and 70s.
I mean, what could Luke Laux be telling Wiggins right now except, man, I'm so glad you listened to me. I'm so glad you came from Clemson.
Yes, keep shooting, young man, keep shooting. Free throw is no good, and the rebound goes to Hannah.
Hannah plays a lot bigger than 6'6".
He does, doesn't he?
Yep.
Good-looking freshman for Alabama. Davion Hannah out of Milwaukee, 6'6", as Lance said, 180.
It reminded me of what Youngblood did last year, Chris Youngblood.
Yeah.
He sort of had the same build. He would get in there and get some tough rebounds.
And a critical
Doesn't look like a
component
freshman.
of that Elite Eight team. No, he does not.
Not going to get carded anytime soon.
Phylon pump faked it between the circles there. And now just a long two. You do not see many of those in a NATO's offense there.
You know,
Look at OT. He's so upset about that.
He did not like it. Three on the way, and it is good by LeJay Jones.
Yeah, Jones this is the reason there was buzz around this kid. He's playing like it in the second half.
And Phylon was trying to work it to Bol Bowen, and it will head out of bounds. And Mo Finley spent some time in that Florida State huddle, 75-72. We'll see what he hears in the Alabama huddle as well, both huddles. When we return, 75-72, Florida State leads the Alabama Crimson Tide. It is Ballin' About Well. Lance Taylor, I'm Ryan Brown. The fourth member of our crew is Mo Finley. He's been in both huddles in the timeout. What'd you find out, Mo?
Fellas, a very, very confident Seminole huddle prior to that last timeout. Every single coach, every single player that was not in the game was encouraging the guys on the floor, shoot the basketball, especially Chauncey Wiggins. Coach Locke actually told Chauncey, you've made a bunch of them, make 10.
Yeah.
Just make more.
Totally different huddle for Nate Oates, where it involved the chewing of,
Some backsides.
yes,
Yeah.
some conversation about shots we need to take, defense we need to play, and rebounds we need to get.
And straight out of the timeout, McRae gets a near uncontested trip to the basket and lays it in. Now Hannah will be fouled on his way to the hoop and will shoot some free throws.
I know you've heard this before. McRae, another one of those left-handers in the
Yeah.
backcourt. Played his ball at Jacksonville University, but this is a guy that had moments about getting some big-time programs. 17 points, 8 assists, and an upset win over Virginia Tech. Had 20 points against the national champion Florida Gators last year.
Davion Hannah cannot get the first free throw to fall.
There you see the 2021 SEC Coach of the Year. And since then, all he's done is take a team to the Final Four, first time in program history, and got them back to the Elite Eight and ran into a really talented Duke team there up in New Jersey.
Second free throw is good, and that cuts it to 4 halfway through the second half. Here at Ballin' and Boutwell, presented by Hibbett and Nike.
Love the way you said historic Boutwell, historic Alabama Theater, like everything downtown's historic to you. It's a historic town.
She's been here a while, right?
Yeah.
Does that
He's
make it
from
historic?
Anniston.
I'm from Anniston.
Scooter.
Yeah, we
Hot
have
Rod's from Anniston.
We have no history. Oh, we got some history in Anniston.
We got the Quintard Mall. What is it?
Don't besmirch the great name of Calhoun County here.
So according to you, these are two historic programs playing in this historic
Sure,
building?
they have been here a long time.
They have.
He's one of those guys that'll get in your head. He is nonstop energy.
He is.
He has come alive in this second half as well.
Holloway cannot find the range from outside tonight. He is now 0 of 6 from beyond the arc.
Alabama hustling on defense, getting the turnover.
Yeah. Luke Laux wants to see the replay.
That's something we have not had. McGee a little A little gimpy right in front of us.
Coach Challenge, thank you so
Yep.
much.
Yeah, the
One of our
officials.
friendly officials.
One of our friendly officials letting us know
Still likes us until he sees the replay.
Luke Lout is going to challenge this call.
Yeah, I mean, don't tell these coaches. I mean, much like last night, when you look at Steve Lutz and Stephen Burrell, I mean, these guys, they're in full mid-season form.
Yeah, Nate Oates been working the officials quite hard, especially on that last call. So we'll take a look at ourselves and see. And we're looking if Hannah touched it or if it went off Miles.
It's off 2. It's off 2.
Yeah, it does look like Miles touches it last. I don't know that Hannah did not touch it, but I think Miles definitely did.
Should we do it like pretend we're ACC football?
It's better
like,
angle.
Guys, I think I've got it off 2 here.
That's the way it sounds in the ACC, right?
It looks like it's off red 2 right here. Off white
There's-
and then off red 2.
I don't know. What was the initial call? Out of bounds on Florida State?
Yeah,
on
out of
two?
bounds off of Florida State, and I think that's going to stand based
Yeah.
on these. Here's another look. So the call on the floor will stand, but bigger than that,
Yeah, they lose a timeout.
Yeah,
and the challenge.
I thought it would. I didn't see anything conclusive there. There
Yeah.
was no change in movement for the ball.
So not only do you lose the possession and the challenge and the timeout.
Nate Oates back in good standing with the officials.
That's
now.
right, he's happy now.
Look at the crowd here. They're into this late night on a Thursday. 85-81. Their team's down 4. Probably surprised their team's down 4 right now.
Probably so. Boy, we have had 2 good games, though. 2 close games the last 2 nights. And that goes out of bounds off of Steen. Overtime last night, 2-point victory. Oklahoma State beating Auburn in that game. And then this game, a 4-point game with 6:37 to go.
I'd love to be in the film room when Alabama breaks down this tape because there are a couple of things. Here's Holloway.
Wide open 3, and he finally gets one to fall.
So Holloway, a guy that off the ball is so good. He's got unlimited range, but I think those 2 shots in the paint really got him going.
I watched him, man, last year, Lance. You're exactly right. When he'd hit one would lead to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and next thing you knew, he's double figures.
You know, I don't know what you guys, the expectation is. You know, 21 minutes last year for Holloway in his first year at Alabama. What do you think those minutes look like?
Well, he did not get a start last year, but you would imagine he was in the starting lineup tonight, and I think you guys would envision Holloway being starting in that backcourt with Philon, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of that I think will be on, how Hannah plays and some of
Reitzel will be back.
when Bethea gets back, Reitzel will be out there. So you'll be rotating the guards around a little bit because you got to have people that can handle it and shoot it on the floor. You don't want to go all 5 guards, though I think it could be good at times. But, I mean, Reitzel's going to be a starter, I assume, right?
I would think that yes, Reitzel will be penciled in as a starter.
Yeah.
And you go
Sherrill's
back-
going to be a starter, so...
a lot of guys get minutes, but you go back to Mark Sears. I mean, that guy seemed to play 35 minutes a game.
Yeah, he played start to finish almost all season last year. I will say with Holloway, he did not. He played in all 37 games for Alabama last year. Did not start any games, but he was comfortable in that role. So you do wonder if you're Nate Oates, is that a role he's just really comfortable in? There's a guy showing some comfort from outside as Millett drains the 3.
Because I was just about to say, probably see Philon, Holloway, Reitzel, and Millett would come off the bench, and then he shoots like that. He's such a great shooter.
Shoots it at a high level, a 5th-year guy, tireless worker. And boy, the rotation, right when he let that go, you knew it was going Bob.
And it ties the game at 7, and then Millett with nice defense making that a tough entry pass, and it goes out of bounds.
Do you know how greedy it sounds to people that are fans that as you watch the shot here from Millett and then the defense at the other end, we're sitting here saying, which of these great guards are going to start?
We named 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of teams are looking for 2.
Yeah.
Here is Philon working against Steen. He gives up a lot of height to Steen, but he's too quick for the Florida State defender, and Alabama back in the lead. 3 on the way, will not go, and Millett pulls down the board, and Florida State is going cold. They have not scored in the last 2:40.
Yeah, dangerous stretch right here for Florida State. Do not want this thing to get away from you. And Alabama can score in bunches quickly.
Here goes Filon again, the reverse as he goes crashing to the floor. And LeBaron Filon has got 22. And Luke Loud's team is in bad need of a bucket, and now a whistle.
Probably a bad need for timeout.
Yeah, well, he lost one of those in the challenge, so he's got to be a little safer with those. Amari Allen picks up the foul. Here's Filon.
Well, that
Last
stop,
two.
man, he made that leg just stop.
His ability to redirect, the body control, to use both hands, you know, and when he's underneath the basket, he plays so much bigger than he actually is.
Well, he's going to have to do that at 6'3" at the next level when he does go to the NBA likely this year.
It almost reminds you, you know, the comp last year, remember it was Mark Sears, Jalen Brunson,
That's
Jalen
all
Brunson.
you heard, yeah.
But I see some Jalen Brunson at 5.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that again this
Yeah,
year.
maybe.
But they're closer in size.
They are closer in size.
Yeah, Brunson and Sears maybe a little bit thicker than Filon. Filon listed at 6'4". I'm going to say that's generous. I don't know
I
that he
would
goes 6'4".
say that he's 6'3", but you know, that's on the shorter side of a
NBA guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And now Millett fouled, and I believe he's injured. It looked like Cam Miles cut him off, and Millett went to the floor, and he stayed down for a minute. He's going to be helped up, and he looks like he's okay.
I want to take you next time WWE's in town.
Do I buy it every time?
I want to take you, man. You thought Millett's injured.
Yeah,
he gets
right.
up and he starts ramping the crowd up here.
He laid
Watch
on the floor.
this.
Look at him. Look at him. I mean, that's a hard hit on the floor.
He's selling the foul.
I don't think soccer would sell it that hard.
I don't think he had to sell that foul. He got clobbered.
Is he getting a free kick right here?
Makes the free throw.
And then he gets up and he revs the crowd up.
That's drama. 92-88, the Crimson Tide leads.
I had to grab your hand. You were at 9-1 before you did the other one. You were calling emergency.
From Alameda, California, obviously played basketball at Pepperdine. One of the coolest campuses in all of college basketball.
It's gorgeous campus. Gorgeous campus. Great views of the Pacific all the way at the top of that campus, built on a hillside.
Millett makes the free throws amazingly, according to Brown.
93-88 Dunaway. The Crimson Tide leads, and now a block call against Bol Bowen.
Yeah, I think Bol
The
Bowen
same
was-
thing just
was
happened
moving.
last night. We just had a player going to help another player up right under the rim and slip and fell to the
Yeah,
hardwood.
Almost the identical spot last night.
yeah.
Was it Keyshawn Hall?
No, I don't think it was Keyshawn Hall. Maybe it was. I can't remember. But watch this. And now watch. Now you're down, so you've got the perspiration on the hardwood, and your friend comes over to help you, and boom, he slips and falls into it. Same place as last night.
Let's say that's where Tom Jones once performed on the crowd. All those wild women back in the 60s. Remaining on these rosters.
Big free throw. 3-possession game now.
Yeah, and you wonder with the 3-possession game, even in this Oats offense, you know, how different they would play this in the regular season and exhibition basketball.
Hannah ran right into a Chauncey Wiggins screen and went crashing to the floor. After the kick out, Jones thought about the three. Instead, we'll kick it over to McGee, and McGee buries the three. And now Luke Louts will use one of his remaining timeouts as the game is now at 4.
Yeah, good ball movement right there from the Knowles, getting McGee open to knock down the three to make it a 4-point game.
I don't know if we have a replay of the shot before the three-pointer, but it reminded me of the Florida State-Alabama football game. The blocks they were running for the ball carrier. Yeah, it was. See this transition right here. That's a nice little bucket to the hole. Contested jump shot. That's
Great.
really good.
Yeah.
And then drive, kick out, contested three, boom. Hard to complain about those.
Yeah, Florida State, 14 of, get ready for this, 41 from beyond the arc. You think Alabama shoots a lot of threes. Florida State has shot 41 in tonight's game. Alabama 12 of 33. Rarely will Alabama play a team that shoots more three-pointers than they do, but Florida State has done just that tonight.
Well, Luke Louts going out and recruiting a bunch of shooters, and, you know, McGee that just hit the shot, the 6'5" senior, you know, averaged 6 attempts per game last year at Drexel.
I will say, for whatever it's worth for Luke Louts, his team has shot, I mentioned 14 of 41 from beyond the arc, 34%. Alabama as a team gave up just 30% from beyond the arc last year, so you're actually a little bit ahead of what Alabama allowed last year. It's got to be a positive sign for the Seminoles.
And I don't know what to expect from Florida State. Dunaway, you brought up the fact that a lot of people project them as one of the worst teams in the major conferences.
96 and Ken Pom picked 15th in the ACC. Maybe it's because we get to see him in person. I didn't feel like Oklahoma State is going to be as bad as people made, and I just don't think this Florida State team will be as bad as people think.
Yeah, I agree. 17 wins last year. I think they could be around that number again. 8-12 wasn't great in the ACC, but they've got some scores.
They're going to go to full court pressure, a little token full court pressure against Alabama here. The Crimson Tide up 4. And now some half court pressure from the Florida State team as they'll extend their defense, trying to create a turnover here and make things a little tougher on the Crimson Tide. Phylon asked for a screen from Bol Bowen. Now he'll back out. And now Phylon had a look at 3. He'll dump it off though. Yeah, Allen can't get it to go.
I know you're looking at clock in this situation up 2 possessions, but I think Nate wanted him to take that shot.
Oh, he's been on him a couple of times tonight to take the shot, take the shot.
That is one thing Nate Oates will get as upset about as he does anything, is passing up an open look. He wants you to take a good look.
And, Phylon is one of those guys you trust, and he hits that shot there with, 32 seconds to go in the game, putting them up 7. That would pretty much be the dagger. He passes up on the shot.
Yeah,
now Florida State back to the strike.
He gave it to Allen. And you're trying to work the clock, like you said, so they gave it back and forth, but it was 4 seconds on the shot clock when he could have shot it instead of 2 or 1 with Allen. So you'd rather take it with 4 and have your best shooter out there.
Yeah,
and that's one of those things I think with Phylon, he's gonna learn this year. Hey, you're the guy. You're the man. You're the guy we want. You're taking the shot.
That's the guy you wanted shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Phylon, played in 37 games last year. Again, only 24 minutes, so those minutes are going to go up. And you're right, the basketball IQ is going to go up.
And after the made free throw, Alabama doesn't block out, and Florida State was able to get another chance. They can't get it to go. Millette gets the rebound, and now Florida State trying to extend the game with fouls.
Now is when Alabama's going to have to hit these free throws. And they've got a good one going to the stripe right now.
Yeah, Millette very good from the arc, from the stripe tonight, 4 of 4.
There's Phylon. He just had a conversation. He's explaining why he didn't take the shot, and I could see sort of his body language and the coach's body language. They sort of understood what he was talking about, trying to take a little bit more time off the clock. And very calmly, Nate Oates said,
"Just take the shot.
Do you know how good you are, son?
That's right.
Take that shot.
You had an open look. That's what we want."
I know Millette's a California kid, but for Pepperdine to land him early on, the 21st best combo guard coming out in the 2021 class, 24/7.
Heck of a recruiting job there.
It really is.
You ever been on that campus,
Yeah,
though? It's how pretty.
It sells itself, that's for sure.
Greatest Pepperdine wave in history. Doug Christie?
I would go Doug Christie.
Yeah. Speaking of the Sacramento Kings, right?
Yeah, very good player back in the day. Couldn't get past my Lakers, though.
15 seconds to go as Robert McRae V able to lay it in. He's had a nice game, 24 points, 26 points, excuse me. And now Alabama cannot get the ball inbounded against the pressure. And we'll have to burn a timeout, up 2 with 12 seconds to go.
Man, great job by Amari Allen there, though. There's the freshman. He didn't panic, didn't have a good, easy pass, knew he had a timeout, took the timeout there, staying out of harm's way.
So look at what LeBaron Phylon has done in this second half.
I mean, how can you, what's your brain doing when you're stopping and going like that? Just the creativity, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Put it to music.
Shows you how good the handle is. You don't even have to think twice about it.
That was the one there. I think that one even impressed himself. Like the way he was reacting when he came up the court.
8 of 12 from the field, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. He's made 9 of his 10 free throws. He's got 28 points tonight to lead all scorers, LeBaron Phylon does, and he's added 4 assists as well.
Yeah, I don't know the best way to defend Phylon. You wonder if you put somebody really physical on him that bodies him up, but he's an assassin from everywhere.
A little design play to get the inbound coming out from Nate Oates. Had Millette throw it to Phylon out of bounds. Phylon gave it back to Millette. It was open. Phylon points over to the bench to the coaching staff. Hey, good job. That was well designed. That worked well.
Well, I mean, that's the number one thing is getting it in, especially when you've got a collection of 5 guys that can shoot it from the stripe.
And not only that, you got it into your best free throw shooter in an obvious foul situation. It was a very nice design by Nate Oates on the Alabama sideline, and Millette pays it off, making the first. This is the key one, though, to make it a 2-possession game.
What is our timeout situation with Florida State?
Florida State is 1 timeout remaining. Keep in mind, they lost a timeout on the challenge earlier.
Alabama also has one, if needed, on any inbound pass coming up.
Millette's free throw is good.
Yeah, big free throw. Got the shooter's touch, shooter's roll there. Florida State's going to have to go quick.
The Alabama crowd will come to their feet with the Crimson Tide up 4 with 11 seconds to go. Alabama will make it tough on Florida State with a full-court pressure. Make them burn as much time as possible getting the ball up the floor. McRae does that. Takes the 3. Can't get it to go. And the rebound goes to Alabama, and Florida